me.
Greetings, my little lovelies. I hope I find you all well again, and as usual feeling tickety-boo. Now, 3 new videos for you today, so let's crack on with them, shall we? A person named Thomas was clinically dead following complications during an operation. While he was temporarily dead before he was resuscitated, Thomas had bizarre visions which he perceived to be the afterlife. In it, Thomas believes he became a ghostly figure in which no one could see him. Writing on the Near-Death Experience Research Foundation, Thomas said, "The lights came on and the operating room was empty. I couldn't figure out where everyone went. I got off the table and headed to the door. I pushed open the door and I fell. I landed on grass and found myself in a cemetery in Portland, Oregon. I was wearing a hospital gown and I couldn't understand why no one could see me. I started to walk over to one of the shelters where funerals take place for veterans. I noticed a large gathering was taking place. I walked over and I could see my wife and my stepdaughter crying. I started to freak out as I realized I was at my own funeral. I tried to get their attention, but there was no sound. It was absolute silence. Then everything went dark again. This time I could see from a different angle. I watched my parents arguing in a room. The room had concrete blocks for walls and they were painted. I couldn't exactly hear what was being said, but it almost seemed as if I was inside my mother's womb. I was being presented with various scenes that seemed to go on forever. At the end I became woozy and I blacked out. I woke up in a chair. There was a woman in a nurse's uniform standing in a dark room. She started to talk with me, but her mouth wasn't moving. She told me I was being sent back because it wasn't my time yet. Suddenly, Thomas was back in his body, but he is now convinced that there is an afterlife. Scientists, however, are not so certain and believe visions such as Thomas's are a normal phenomenon. A date for your diaries, my little lovelies. The 2 largest planets in our solar system are set to align in conjunction for the first time in 800 years to create a Christmas star. Jupiter and Saturn will line up on December the 21st and appear to form a double planet just in time for the festive season. This conjunction, also nicknamed the Christmas star or the Star of Bethlehem, hasn't been seen for 800 years. It is said that this is a once-in-a-lifetime sighting and won't occur again until 2080 and then sometime after 2400. Mark that down in your diaries, my little lovelies. There is a strong case to be made that a house excavated in Nazareth, Israel, was the childhood home of Jesus, according to an archaeologist. Professor Ken Dark from the University of Reading has spent 14 years studying the remains of a 1st century dwelling beneath a modern-day convent. He said the ruins were first suggested as Jesus, Mary and Joseph's home in the 19th century. However, the idea was dismissed by archaeologists in the 1930s. The site remained largely forgotten since then, until Professor Dark launched a project in 2006 to reinvestigate the site. He said, "I didn't go to Nazareth to find the house of Jesus. I was actually doing a study of the city's history as a Byzantine Christian pilgrimage centre. Nobody could have been more surprised than me," he said. He went on to say, "The ancient dwelling was located beneath the Byzantine-era church, which in turn lies beneath the Sisters of Nazareth convent." He explained, "We know from written evidence this church was believed in the Byzantine period to have been built on the site of Jesus' home and the dwelling preserved in its crypt. It's almost certainly the Church of the Nutrition, which was dedicated to the upbringing of Christ and mentioned in a 7th century pilgrim's account. Professor Dark said his work has identified the house as dating back to the 1st century and reveals the building was carved into a rocky hillside. He said whoever built the house had excellent knowledge of stoneworking, the sort of thing expected of someone who would have been called a tekton, the ancient word for craftsman, that was used to refer to Joseph in the Bible. The archaeologist said, while all these factors do not prove that it was Jesus' home, this is about as close as we will probably ever get to being able to say that it was. Welcome back, my little lovelies. Hope you enjoyed them. Let us know what you think of them. Now, a lot of you are still telling me that you're not getting notifications via YouTube. I have written to YouTube, but no response. So, other than what we're doing, I don't know what to do. I know a lot of you are going in search of the videos. I don't know why YouTube just don't get their act together, to be honest, but it's out of our hands. Can't do anything. Other than keep going. Right, that's enough dribbling on from me. Until next time, my little lovelies, you all take care and stay safe. Ta-ta, my little lovelies. Ta-ta.